You start whining before the game's even over? If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job. But the larger point that I want to emphasize here is that there is no serious person out there who would suggest somehow that you could even rig America's elections.
The president, in his own way, teeing off on Trump. And the polls prove his point that the Donald is down. According to new numbers that are out today from Monmouth University, Hillary Clinton is up by 12 points. Plus, for the first time in this campaign, she has reached 50% support, and that's when factoring in even all four of the candidates. An NBC News poll says Hillary has an 18-point lead with women. That's not a surprise, but again, for the first time, she's also leading with men under 30 and also under 44. Trump, he continues to hold a double-digit lead overall when it comes with older men. But here's maybe the most shocking number of all. Trump is only up 3 points in Texas. And that's according to the University of Houston poll. Think about that. Virtually a tie here if you factor in the margin of error in the deepest of deep red states. Texas, it's gone Republican 9 straight presidential races, usually comfortably in the double-digit area code. All right, let's bring in our panel, and we're going to talk about both where the race is now and also the debate tomorrow night. Richard Brodsky is a former Democratic New York State Assemblyman, now a senior fellow at Demos and a professor at NYU. Dominic Carter, political journalist and author. His Rockland neighbor, Scott Vanderhoff, former 5-term Republican Rockland County exec and co-chairman of the Palisades Institute of Dominican College. And Shelley Mayer, Democratic Assemblyman representing the great city of Yonkers. All right. In terms of the math, and when you look at the polling, and there's been a lot, Shelley, that's come down here, but what's the number that jumped out to you the most, whether it be swing states, overalls, demographics?
The 50.
The 50.
Getting to the 50, I think. First place, I don't believe it. I don't believe any of them. I really don't. I'll believe it on election day. I think this is an election where the polls are very deceptive. I think there are Trump supporters who will come out and vote, and the number will be much closer than these polls indicate.
Now, are you saying that because you don't want people to be complacent, or you really believe that it's going to be?
I actually really believe that.
You do?
I believe that my district, and Richard knows very well, there's plenty of people who do not want to publicly say they're for Donald Trump.
Are we restricted to things we really believe tonight?
Yeah, don't worry. No.
Because if this is a new policy.
No.
Okay.
Feel free.
All right.
But for me, in my district, I believe there are many people who might poll and answer differently, but will vote for Donald Trump.
They called it the Bradley effect when it came to race. Tom Bradley was the mayor of L.A. Black. He was ahead in the polls and he lost. I think there's something to that. But on the other hand...
Although I've always heard the Bradley effect, and it doesn't turn out since that election to manifest itself on election day usually. People said the same thing about Barack Obama. Don't believe the polls. There's a lot of people who don't want to say that, and he won twice.
There's a lot of people ashamed of saying publicly. I was at a party. There was a couple, very nice couple, smart people for Trump. They got smacked around by everybody, not sort of intellectually. They were treated rudely. Now, I'm all for that. Don't misunderstand me. But I think there's a lot of people. No, you have to tell the truth tonight. I think there's a lot of people. Not a lot. I think there's a number of people who are not going to say it to a pollster they're for Trump, who are going to vote for Trump.
And I'm curious, Scott, because Rockland's always, it can go either way. I mean, you disproved that 5 times, but my point is, it's really a mixture of all different. What do you find? Whether it's just a grocery store, you talk to people, you talk to the electeds, do they think that the polls aren't reflective of reality, or that even if people were willing to vote for Trump, this is my sense, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, he's gone so far off the rails. I mean, today, he went out of his way to say, I hope Putin's not mad at us for the things we said. What electorate is clamoring for defending Russia? I mean, and the other things he said, like people know sore losers when you hear somebody basically saying the thing's rigged here and delegitimized before anybody's cast a vote. Even if you just played Tiddlywinks as a kid, you know that sounds like a sore loser. Are they still deeply with him, big enough numbers?
Yeah, I mean, there are still many Trump signs in Rockland County, big ones, small ones, and more on lawns. You wouldn't think, but they are, and there is a constituency that are going to be for him no matter what. I think Shelley's on point, though. I think people are so fed up. The other night, I was at a function where I said to people, it was a crowd of people, I said, let's talk politics, jokingly. They were not amused. No. You could hear the people are just fed up.
Those are the Trump people.
Actually, both sides were doing pretty well. And you know what I think? I think it reflects they're just fed up, and they may not just go, which hurts all the down, the down slate folks. So I think the polls may not be correct, not because they haven't been correct for that second, but I think there's going to be a low turnout.
Who would you guess, Dom, are in terms of the electorate out there, because I think everybody's sick of this stuff. I mean, sure, there's
Agreed.
people who show up, but I mean, I'm sick of this stuff, and
All
I do
of
this
us.
for a living,
All of
right?
us are sick of it.
Who do you think is going to be less motivated than normal to just say, I'm not voting, leave me out of this?
Well, that's a very good question. It depends on.
I'm glad I asked.
I'm glad you asked as well. If you're Hillary Clinton, you're concerned. What's the problem now?
Don't acknowledge him. He's going to get started. He's going to hijack your time. Don't do that.
No,
Yeah.
and I love you.
Please don't. You never ask
I
him
thought
if
we
you
were
want
going
to.
to say
There
what we really
go.
thought tonight.
We are saying
Say
what we
it.
really feel. Okay, so if you're Hillary Clinton, you're scared to death that perhaps the base will stay home in terms of African American. Because think about this. A 10-year-old child could say, Hillary Clinton's going to win this election. And so, and so people may decide ultimately, Richard, she's got it in the bag, I don't have to vote. And then at 10 o'clock election night, to your point, he won?
You know who, just to add to that, it's the millennials who are fed up. It's that whole group, which is the largest group. I think it's the largest group now population-wise. That group is they are not happy with it, and they're the ones who might stay home.
Just assume that everybody's dispirited. The ones look at the Texas results. The Republicans are more dispirited than the Democrats. Trump has made them afraid, and that's going to count. But if you're within 3 points in Texas,
Yeah.
it's remarkable.
Well, the math is,
But the
the
other-
math is, I mean, not to use a poker term, but he would have to draw the best hand and win every state with every margin of every single state.
Impossible.
And he'd still need to find another 12 electoral
There's
votes.
something
Not
wrong in
gonna
polling, Richard. It's wrong everywhere.
Not
Keep
gonna
that in
happen.
mind.
Fair enough. All right, I
Not
do
gonna
want to
happen.
ask, though, because tomorrow night's a huge night here.
But,
and what we
excuse me,
can't,
can I
yeah.
just interrupt? You left out women. This race is very much about
Yes.
how women vote. And I think in the end, women, whatever they say to their husband, notwithstanding, are going to be the margin of victory against Donald Trump.
I couldn't agree more. And you're absolutely right. Look at those numbers here by nearly 20 points here nationally, which is historic in its own right. All right, now to the debate here. And I'll start with you, Dom. Nobody knows what he's going to do. Do you believe that we'll hear stuff we've never heard before tomorrow, or it'll be just basically a drumming down, defending the rigging line and defending that she's corrupt and worse than Watergate, what she did? Or will he go even more nuclear if there's a DEFCON 12 or something that we haven't seen yet?
He's going to swing for the fences. Anything that we haven't heard yet, him and Roger Stone, they're going to pull it out. But it's not going to work. If you're Hillary Clinton, it's almost like you're standing up there talking to yourself on the stage tomorrow. You completely ignore him unless he talks the issues. You don't respond, whatever you do, don't talk about your marriage, which she hasn't done. And, you just run out the clock. Richard, I've been saying this every night, and I'm going to say it until election. I've been saying it every night as of recently. The election,
We all got to say what we really think tonight.
Yeah. He loves to say,
Yes.
But
It's
anyway.
over.
All right, well, I got less than I got less than 2 minutes before I got to hit a break here. Does she acknowledge the headlines of what he said, or does she try and do the policy play the whole time?
She has to figure out a way to respond to him and then not respond to him. But she can't ignore him. But she's going to have to present herself as a flawed but ultimately honest and acceptable candidate. She should acknowledge mistakes. She should reach out beyond it. But she's going to have to find a way to say that's not the way we conduct races in America.
Well, but she's a manipulator. I mean, She's a manipulator. She manipulates things and facts, and this whole series of things that come out, these emails, show that. However, what's interesting,
That wasn't her.
That wasn't her. It was her staff.
look, my private and my public positions are different. Please excuse me.
Let's stop there.
No,
Hold it.
don't stop
You
there. We
Never,
can go on.
Your
We can go
public
on.
positions were always your private
Precisely,
positions?
we say exactly what's accurate
You-
here.
Yeah.
Richard,
When you
let
were-
me say
when you were
something
running
else.
the county.
Let me say, absolutely. It was the same, my back room or in the front room. Secondly, more important, they have neutralized each other on the whole question of promiscuity. She can't be attacked, he can't be attacked, it's worthless, they're not going to do it. This gives Donald Trump an opportunity to actually talk policy for the first time.
I don't think he can, though, Scott.
I don't know if he can
For
either.
Knight, I don't think he has that in the toolbox.
think-
The
I
other
don't
thing is
think
a small
there's an
point. You have
equality.
Wallace from Fox News, who's moderating, who I think is going to do a very good job. Point is, if he claims about the rigged system and the media is all against him, I think it falls on deaf ears if he's got a moderator from Fox News here that everyone's out to get him, and the big defenders of Hillary Clinton. It might be too inside baseball. Really quickly, what do you think we hear?
I think that just plays to his base. I think this rig thing is really about his base. And other people don't really care about that. People are undecided or on the fence. What do I think we'll hear? I think he'll swing for the fence. I think he'll do everything he can. I think he'll highlight whatever came out in the emails and all this and try to tie it to her in a very personal way. But she is extremely capable of getting past that. She will handle it extremely well, and she'll
think,
end
like
up
you
winning.
said, she can't wait till 10:30 when the clock strikes. All right, when we come back, I'll talk corruption, but he'll be happy. It won't be about New York this time. When we come back, I do have a lot of counselors at the table. I want them to help me. The Bridgegate trial in full swing. Both sides have said that Christie knew about the lane closures. The question is, let's say they can even prove it. Is that criminal? We'll get into that after this.